Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of the end times. On my last program, I've talked about the 5 dogmas of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and I received quite a few responses. Many of those responses disagreed with me, and they quoted passages from the Bible to support their position. But the fact is that every passage that they quoted did not support their position, but actually undermined their opposition to the dogmas of the Blessed Virgin Mary. For example, they tried to point out to me that there are passages in Matthew chapter 13 which indicate Jesus had brothers and sisters, and therefore Mary could not be forever virgin. Let's take a look at the passages which they quoted to me. Matthew 13:54. And when he was come into his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, insomuch that they were astonished, and said, Whence hath this man this wisdom and these mighty works? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brethren James and Joseph and Simon and Judas? And his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then hath this man all these things? And they were offended in him. But Jesus said unto them, A prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house. And he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief. Now this last word, unbelief, should tell you who these people are. These are not Christians. They are non-believers. If you agree with them that Jesus had brothers and sisters, then you are joining the group of non-believers. Jesus said a prophet is not without honor except in his own country. These people are dishonoring Jesus. First, they claim that he is the carpenter's son. That is a lie. We know that Jesus is the Son of God. Then they say that Jesus had brothers and sisters. We know this is also a lie. They are exaggerating his relationship to his cousins and to his close friends. Jesus did not have any blood brothers and sisters. Please do not agree with these liars, these townspeople, or else the same thing will happen with you that happened to them. And that is that Jesus will not be able to work miracles and signs in your lives as well. Now the naysayers also pointed me to a passage from John where Jesus refers to his mother as woman instead of mother. And they believe this is a derogatory term. Just the opposite is the fact. He refers to his Blessed Mother as the woman because that is her title, both in the book of Genesis and in the book of Revelation. John 2 verse 3. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus said unto him, They have no wine. Jesus said unto her, Woman, what have I to do with thee? My hour is not yet come. His mother said unto the servants, Whatsoever he says unto you, do it. Now Jesus refers to his mother as the woman in this passage because Mary is carrying out the duties of her office, because she is the intercessor between man and Jesus. This passage is also a prophecy of the end times, because what does Mary do here? She accelerates Jesus' ministry. He says his time is not yet come. Now in the end times, Jesus also speeds up his appearance at the Armageddon. He says for the sake of the elect, he will shorten those days. I believe Mary is the agent who will be instrumental in bringing out the shortening of those days, just as she accelerated Jesus' ministry at the wedding feast of Cana. And when Jesus is dying on the cross, he also refers to his mother as the woman. That's because in this case, she is also fulfilling the duties of her office. John 19, verse 25. Now there stood by the cross of Jesus his mother, and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Cleophas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus therefore saw his mother, and the disciples standing by whom he loved, he said unto his mother, Woman, behold thy son. Then said he to the disciple, behold thy mother. And from that hour that disciple took her unto his own home. In this case, when Jesus puts his mother into John's care and says, woman, behold thy son, he is telling the church the same thing. Church, behold your mother. Once again, Mary is fulfilling her office as the woman. As we know from, for example, in our country, at presidential news conferences, the news reporters always refer to the president as Mr. President. They never say Mr. Obama. That's because referring to him by his title is much more honorable, much more respectful. And Jesus is not disrespecting Mary in these passages. He is in fact giving her more honor, and that is the dignity of her title. Another one of my critics quoted a passage from Luke, which he says was a put down by Jesus of his Blessed Mother. Just the opposite is the fact. Luke 11:27. And it came to pass, as he spoke these things, a certain woman of the company lifted up her voice and said unto him, blessed is the womb that bore thee, and the breasts which nursed thee. But he said, yea, rather blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it. And when Jesus says, blessed are they that hear the word of God and keep it, no one kept the word of God better than the Blessed Virgin Mary, because she is blessed among all women. Jesus is not degrading his mother in this passage. He is putting down the woman. When the woman said, blessed is the womb that bore thee, and the breast that nursed thee, she is saying that Mary is blessed because she is the mother of Jesus. And Jesus is correcting her. Jesus is making it clear here that Mary is not blessed because she is his mother, but because of her own merits. Mary is the greatest woman God ever created. All we have to do is to look at Luke 1:28, where the angel Gabriel announces to Mary that she is to be the mother of Jesus. And the angel came in unto her and said, hail, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Please notice in this passage that Gabriel says that Mary is blessed among women before she conceives Jesus. In other words, God chose Mary to be the mother of his son because she was already the greatest woman he had ever created. Another YouTuber complained to me and said, once you say that Mary is an intercessor between man and Jesus is the intercessor between man and God, who's to say there are not more intercessors? And he is correct. There is an intercessor between man and Mary, and that is the Pope. To understand the chain of command in these end times, all you need to do is read the book of Esther. Esther is a prophecy of our defeat of the Antichrist, and here's how we do it. First of all, the Jews represent end-time Catholics. We appeal to Mordecai, who represents the last Pope, Pope Peter II. He appeals to Esther, who represents the Blessed Virgin Mary. She appeals to King Ahasuerus, who represents Jesus Christ. King Ahasuerus hangs Haman, who represents the Antichrist, and Haman's 10 sons, who represent the 10 kings of the Antichrist. Remember, the rope that hangs Haman symbolizes Mary's rosary and her scapular. The noose around the neck, the hangman's knot, symbolizes the scapular. The length of the rope, which is 50 cubits, symbolizes Mary's rosary. Now, in conclusion, I fully understand my videos about the importance of the Blessed Virgin Mary in these end times are not popular. That's because you don't understand the imminence of the tribulation period and World War III. Following World War III and the beginning of the 7 years of tribulation, you will remember these videos. You will remember that Mary and her rosary and her scapular are the only ways that you can defeat the Antichrist. And that will become very clear to you at that time. And if you would like more information or a free copy of my book, Revelation Unraveled, simply write to the address you see on your screen.